Huh. So you're believers now. You all sat in the psychics for when all this was happening, and reading it, I'm sitting there in there with you. Literally, the book is well written, and there's a lot of description that is unbelievably necessary and serves its purpose in the book because you feel you are right there in the pouring rain outside of the donut shop. You know, yeah. You're waiting for this, and I'm sitting there, what's happening, what's happening? And just, you've painted the eeriness of that moment wonderfully. It's a really great moment in the book. But this wasn't the only psychic you met. After this, you saw another one who gave you the impression or gave you the inkling that you all may be some of the victims of this event. Which brings us up to one of my favorite topics, the past life issue and reincarnation. In the book, you believe if you were one of the victims, you don't believe you were one of the victims. You believe you were actually the detective assigned to the case. Has any of you participated in a past life regression as a result of this to learn more about?
No.
Is that something that you've wanted to do or thought about doing to almost put closure to, well, what was the force that got us here?
Well, I shouldn't say we didn't, because one of the psychics came to the house, and she worked on Linda and I, and we got together in a circle, and what happened was she made us hold hands, and we just sat there, and we almost like in a meditation state, and she brought us almost somewhere else, and I really don't want to get into that.
Sure.
But what happened was she brought me to the point where I knew people that I guess someone else knew back then, and there would be no way that I knew this information. It was incredible. Again, you got to remember that after something like this happens to you, you don't remember a lot about what happens. Okay, you said you were going to get into the discussion with Marilyn and I about what happened with William Prouty.
Right.
And then you'll understand what I'm trying to say.
See, Randy, when Fallon came into this, she got both Linda and Randy to go back in time. She was trying to make Linda relive her dream so that she could put faces to the people that were in her dream. And she did the same thing with Randy. The problem with Randy was that he brought a message back to her from someone, and he didn't know who this person was, but she did.
You did?
No, he did.
Randy did.
I did. I knew it was someone that the psychic Fallon knew.
No.
What she did was she channeled through me to someone that she knew way back.
That worked in this town and on the farms.
And was familiar with.
Yes.
With the story itself.
Yeah. That's what fascinates me.
There was so many bizarre things that happened, and there's so many things that aren't in the book.
Right.
Because, I mean...
You couldn't put... I mean, the
book
book
would put everything
although it would probably still be just as fascinating. But it's intriguing. I could never get enough of this kind of... And to live that must have been just from your standpoint, from someone who doesn't really have the knowledge or the belief or the or the understanding to literally be thrust into it. And there was some discussion that you yourself, actually I think it was pointed out by, I think it was Teddy, that you also may have had some psychic ability yourself. Did you know this throughout the course of your life?
No. What brought me to where I thought maybe that what he was saying was true was, I got to the point where I was really scared through this whole ordeal with the research on the book, because there was so many things happening. I got to the point that I believed that there was actually somebody watching us and actually looking over our shoulders, protecting us. And once I got that feeling, I got to the point where I just said, nothing bad's going to happen to us. But there was so many times that we decided, let's not do this anymore.
That was the time Teddy said, if you're going to continue this pursuit, you all have to start wearing crosses. And we did.
and then we wound up in the cemetery.
Yes.
At this point, it's we may go a little long tonight. It's just so much to touch on. I'm going to invite our audience to give us a call if you got a question or comment. Our number is 343-3130. You can give us a call and ask your particular question or questions or share your comments. If you'd like to email us, you can do so by emailing us at experience@fatv.org, or you can visit us on the web at www.fatv.org/experience. The cemetery, your particular trip. You were looking for the, trying to verify, the dates of the death of
Albert Nichols?
Albert Nichols, who was his relationship to the Proutys and Hammond.
He was Aaron Hammond's personal clerk, and he was one of Henry Hammond's best friends.
And he was the one who was found after cutting himself. What was it, in 2 different places?
He had slit his throat completely across, and they had said that he had walked down from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor.
Oh, he had to get the
died.
towel, and clean up.
Before you.
So you were going there to verify...
Because there was a conflict on his date. I think that the paper clippings that were found were wrong, and they were wrong when we found the date.
Mm-hmm.
But they were done to sensationalize the truth, or a lie, I should put it that way. And that's why we were at that cemetery. And we had also brought Teddy with us because we wanted to see what Teddy would think about his psychic abilities going to the gravesite.
Now, I don't remember actually in the book that Teddy was with you at this moment. And maybe I just glanced over it or I didn't remember. But this is... was this the crow episode?
No.
There were always crows.
But there were always crows around.
There are always
Yes.
crows.
Did you notice that as well?
Yes.
And it always rained.
And it always
rained,
rained.
yes.
Even when you went to the home? Like when you went to visit the
No,
home?
not there. When we went to the grave
The
sites.
cemeteries.
It was
I mean, the
always
sun
cold
could be
and damp.
shining,
But it was...
but as soon as we hit the grave
As soon
site,
as you hit the gates,
it would get
start
cloudy
raining.
and it would start raining.
Do you notice things? I mean, do you ever pass by there, or whenever you think about it again, and notice the same stuff? Like, do you still feel like there's some kind of connection to it, or do you feel that what you were supposed to do? Like, do you feel your job has been done and
Yes.
everything's
Yes.
kind
In
of
fact,
been able to?
Yes.
In fact, Teddy had told, the night that we went down, the first night that we ever visited Teddy, he pointed to me and he said that you have been brought a long way to help with this story. He said, Maria Prouty is coming to you through dreams, and you have to tell her story because she has to rest in peace. And then at that point, he pointed and he said, there's a nun standing behind you. She's here to protect you, and her name is Mary. And I remember it was kind of funny at first. I turned around and looked, and he says, oh, you can't see her. And I says, well, what do I need protected from? You have me worried now. Maybe we should not be researching this. And he said, no, you will do it. And he said that you're going to meet a lot of obstacles. There's going to be a lot of problems with this. He said the spirits will try and stop you. And of course, at that time, I still was having a hard time believing this. And he said, but you're going to do it no matter what. You're all going to do this story. He says it will happen. And he says you need to research it. You need to finish this, and you need to wear crosses, and you need to pray.